18 years. 18 years is how long I've had to deal with these Toy Biz Kevin Nash and Scott Hall figures in my action figure collection. And they haven't aged entirely well. But now, Mattel has given us some updates. Are these figures worth the money? Let's find out. Hey yo, toy fans, we've got Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in the house. Now I know Jakks Pacific and even Mattel has given us different versions of these characters over the years. So despite what I said just a moment ago, these aren't really the first figures we've had in 18 years, but these are the first WWE collector-styled Wolfpack incarnations of these characters. Now Nash here on the left is part of an older Elite series. This was a Ringside exclusive figure. I believe it released in late 2015. I didn't actually pick it up till earlier this year, so fortunately he was still available online, but Scott Hall is a 2017 figure. Now we have received a Razor Ramon figure in the past, part of the Defining Moments line of WWE figures, and I do believe last year we even received a Ringside exclusive NWO Hollywood version of Scott Hall. But these are the Outsiders in their true red and black colors. And short of Kevin Nash coming in his actual Outsiders red outfit, this is the version of this pair that I've been super excited to collect. Now I do want to point out one minor disappointment I have with these figures being released about 2 years apart from each other. Kevin Nash has got a really cool Elite box, Flashback Elite box that actually has NWO spray painted over the Elite logo for the packaging. And it's just completely decked out in Wolfpack colors. You've got the NWO logo in the background. Scott Hall, on the other hand, is featuring the standard Elite packaging we see for WWE figures today. Now, again, these guys came out 2 years apart, but I would have loved some sort of continuity between the two packagings. I mean, these are WCW versions of these characters, and I like that Scott Hall says WCW in the corner, but Kevin Nash only has the WWE logo. And while this Scott Hall is representing the formation of the NWO, or his classic Outsiders colors, we actually have a white t-shirt Scott Hall on the side here with the Hollywood logo, versus what we're getting with Kevin Nash, which just has the red and black coloring. I know, I'm nitpicking. But due to the lack of symmetry in the packaging for these figures, I actually don't feel bad about pulling them out of the box. Had they matched, I might have actually just kept them packaged. Now the back of the packaging is also different between these two figures. In the case of Kevin Nash, we just have a picture of him on the back since this was a Ringside exclusive, and not part of any official wave available at retail. Therefore, he doesn't have a lineup of figures at the bottom like we see with Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash gets a much more detailed bio. Now what Scott Hall lacks in a full bio, he actually makes up for with details like his height and where he's from, and where this particular appearance actually comes from. And again, given that these are the famous Outsiders, it would have been really nice to have some more matching box detail on the back as well. But enough of nitpicking the packaging. Let's go ahead and get Big Sexy and the Lone Wolf out of their box and see what they're all about. Alright, toy fans, so here they are out of the packaging. We've got Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. These guys come with a bunch of really cool accessories, and then Scott Hall comes with this cardboard boiler room display stand. Doesn't really work for the character, because back when Hall was wrestling with the NWO, they weren't doing boiler room matches. But let's start by taking a look at Kevin Nash. Nash comes with an NWO t-shirt, one of those ones with the slits down the side, a t-shirt that's been cut. Nash never really wore this style NWO shirt. Usually if he had an NWO logo on before a match, it was on a tank top, or more commonly, he would be wearing just a sleeveless shirt that even has a bit of a cut at the top of it. He never really wore this style shirt. That was more of Scott Hall's thing whenever he didn't have his vest. So it's cool that we've got it, but it just doesn't look right on the character if you ask me. You can go ahead and put it on over his head pretty easily. Now, he does have a ponytail in the back, so you have to kind of fish the hair out of that. But, you know, it's cool that he's got it, but it's just not accurate, so I probably won't be posing my Nash figure with this accessory at all. If I get some more figures from this era that don't have an NWO shirt, maybe I'll throw them on, or throw that one on them. Nash also has his World Heavyweight Championship, or rather NWO Championship, around his waist. This appears to be a reuse of a WWE version of this championship. It's not actually period specific since it has the WWE logo at the top. Also, and we're nitpicking here, but the spray paint pattern on the belt is different from how it actually looked during this era. Hogan, when he originally spray painted the belt, did NWO at the top and then did sort of a zigzag through the nameplate on the belt itself. So this is not accurate. It looks cool, I like it. It's just not accurate to the way the belt actually looked back then. But it comes off pretty easily. You've just got a couple of pegs on the back. You can pull it off. And once he's worn it for a little while, you can even have it posed over his shoulder if you want to. Outfit-wise, this appears to be, based on the belt that was included, this appears to be Starcade Nash. The tank top actually matches the look that he had during his match with Goldberg when he actually won, given some outside interference, and actually actually broke Goldberg's streak, the first man to do so. But the pants aren't right. He's got red tassels or fringes on the side of his pants, and when he actually wrestled Goldberg at Starcade, he did have this top, but his pants were completely black. Now, that is something that I actually prefer. I like the change that Mattel has made. I prefer the red showing on the side. It just kind of makes the costume pop a little more. But I should also mention that Nash doesn't have his characteristic huge elbow pad on his right arm. Now, not having that elbow pad there does allow us to see his tattoos in some nice detail, so I do appreciate that. And they look really nice. They've been painted with color. They're just not a black print like we might have seen if this was a basic figure. Nash also comes with a spray paint accessory, and unfortunately, no matter how hard I try, I just can't get it to fit into his right hand. His left hand, however, is a bit more open, and while it doesn't hold the can super firm, it does actually set in the hand, so if you wanted to have Nash holding the spray paint can, you could go ahead and do that. Finally, he also has a set of sunglasses. These seem to be the exact same that come with Scott Hall. It fits over his head nicely enough, but it doesn't really wrap around his ears properly, so it looks a little weird. But at least his sunglasses fit better on his face than what we see when we try to place on Scott Hall's. Scott Hall is actually sporting his appearance from Bash at the Beach 1996. His hair is actually tied back, which isn't accurate to the event, but you know what? I like having that option for a Scott Hall head sculpt, and I've still got Razor Ramon from the Defining Moments line, and I'm sure with a little bit of effort I can switch these out and have a Scott Hall with his hair down, so I'm not too displeased about that. But otherwise, this figure is pretty nice. It's just a complete reuse of the Razor Ramon figure that we got a couple of years ago. The vest is the same, it's just been repainted. The elbow pads are the same. The knee pads are actually different. Scott Hall's got some taller knee pads versus the shorter ones that Razor Ramon has, but otherwise the boot sculpts are the exact same, and pretty much everything about these guys is the exact same. Now, I do want to note that he does have a different head sculpt, so I appreciate that. Not only is the hair different, but we get a little bit of teeth showing here on Razor Ramon, and we don't get that with Scott Hall. Now, the vest for Scott Hall is removable. It takes a little bit of doing, and it's not as pliable as I would like, but you can remove his vest and replace it with the NWO t-shirt that he comes packaged with. Now, this particular shirt, as I mentioned before, is in the style of what Scott Hall would actually wear from this era, but I don't remember a time when he would actually sport the black and white logo with his red and black tights. So thankfully, Kevin Nash came with an extra red and black shirt, so we can just go ahead and pull off the one that Scott Hall came packaged with, and go ahead and replace it with the new one. It fits just as comfortably, and again, if you've got some other wrestling figures from this era, some other Flashback figures or what have you, it's nice that we actually have some extra NWO shirts, so you can go ahead and stable up some members that maybe haven't received proper NWO releases yet. Looking at you, Lex Luger. Like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall also comes with a spray paint can, only this time we have a white spray paint can, and don't even try to get it in his hand, it's just not going to fit. That grip is just way too tight. But he also has some sunglasses. And like I said before, these don't fit on his face quite as well as what we saw with Nash. His head's just a little bit bigger than Nash's, surprisingly, so while you can get his shades on, they're kind of bending out awkwardly, and they just don't look right to me. Alright, so now for a verdict. How do these guys stack up against their original Toy Biz counterparts? Well, if I'm being honest, Toy Biz gave a really good effort with this Outsider's Nash back in the day. We've got some nice flexible fringes on the side of his pants. He's got his trademark elbow pad, although he doesn't have any tattoos on his arm. But I do appreciate that Toy Biz attempted to give Nash some blonde streaks in his hair because at this point in his career, he was starting to go gray and started dyeing his hair to kind of hide that fact. The Nash from Mattel really probably should have included that detail. But from the neck down, this Mattel Nash figure, despite the elbow pad being missing, is far superior to the original effort. And I like that the newer Nash figure doesn't always look like he's trying to go Super Saiyan. Scott Hall, on the other hand, the Toy Biz figure, while I'm a big fan, the only thing I can say nice about it is that he has the ability to make the Wolfpack fingers. But otherwise, the likeness is just terrible, he's way too skinny, and really, he's a complete misfire in everywhere that counts. So if you've got the cash and you remember life before the internet, this new Nash and Hall figure are definitely for you. Oh, and for a quick size comparison, here we've got Hall and Nash compared to the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Infinite series Wolverine.
Hey, would you look at that? I finally made it. I'm in the, red and black. Did I join the Thunderbolts? I think my contract just expired.
Alright, Toy fans, well, that's my review of the WWE Flashback Scott Hall and Kevin Nash figures released by Mattel. Thanks for watching this review, Toy fans. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments below who's your favorite wrestling tag team. Mine should be pretty obvious. You guys can always keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time.